In case you hadn't noticed, the UK is currently experiencing the worst death rate in the world from COVID-19, and our economy is collapsing due to a Brexit deal that our Prime Minister negotiated, which turns out may as well have been negotiated by a flock of brain damaged flamingos because it's not possible for it to be any worse than it currently is. In moments of crisis, the UK government usually relies on the birth of a royal baby to smooth over these sorts of things and distract us, and this play has worked out well for them in the past, to be fair. However, on this occasion, Will is still hammering away trying to make his fourth baby, and weirdly letting his gran know that he's doing it. Hi Gran, just to let you know, I'm barebacking my wife. Expect the baby as soon as my butler directs me to the right hole. Best you start deciding which bit of Devon it's going to own for no reason anyone can explain. There is of course the ginger option too, however that model isn't popular with the right-wing press currently and won't be the distraction the government needs. So, in this case, old B to the J has suggested a different route. Bridges. Big bridges, long bridges, tall bridges, sexy bridges. He loves bridges. He loves bridges so much he pays for ones that don't even exist. And who can blame him? I mean, look at this one. Look at it. Anyway, this government sanctioned distraction bridge isn't just any bridge. This is a bridge that goes underground, which research tells me is called a tunnel. Yes, in an attempt to distract us from the compounding disaster the government actively created and made worse through its own bad decision making, and to resolve a UK internal border crisis that, again, they created, our galaxy brain government and the delusional glue sniffers at High Speed Rail Group want to build a train tunnel between Northern Ireland and Scotland. If some of you are thinking, hold on a second, I've heard about something like this before, it's because you kind of have. This latest suggestion is an evolution of Johnson's bridge idea for the very same location. And if that one reminds you of something, it's because, yes, he also suggested building one across the channel for some reason, despite there literally being a tunnel there. On the face of it, ignoring the very obvious, what's the most insane headline we can get the Daily Mail to print element of this moment, this is kind of a cool idea. Right? Right? Well, no. And here's why. For comparison, the Channel Tunnel cost 15 billion, took over 10 years to design, plan and organise, and another 6 years to build. It was a marvel of engineering when it opened in 1993 and everyone was rightly proud of themselves. That being said, as tunnels across the bottom of seas go, this was reasonably manageable as the channel was a relatively shallow body of water with a uncomplicated seabed. With this information in mind, you might think, well, that doesn't sound too bad. How much harder could a tunnel between Northern Ireland and Scotland possibly be? Starting with logistics alone, there are some major differences between the proposed Lunacy Tunnel and the Channel. While the depth of the sea between Dover and Calais averages only about 50 metres, the strait between Northern Ireland and Scotland is more than 3 times that, at around 170 metres. Simple, right? Well, if you're still feeling confident, right where they want to build this is a giant fuck-off sea trench, which is a staggering 300 plus metres deep. This means that you'd have to put in a frigging dog leg to get around this trench like some kind of lunatic. But as everyone except the UK government and High Speed Rail Group knows, trains can't turn corners. So you'd essentially have to build your tunnel into a giant curve to get round the trench rather than a straight run, vastly increasing the difficulty and cost of the project. Also, if you weren't already thinking, this sounds like a stupid idea, take a huff of modelling glue and follow me further. So this trench and general area of the sea we're talking about where we want to do a lot of drilling and the like, wouldn't it be funny if there was something down there that would make this pants on your head insane to attempt? And of course, there is. For some time now, the big brain boys who run our military have been using this area as a dumping ground for an exciting range of weapons and explosive, with as much as 1 million tonnes already down there. This includes some artillery shells filled with phosgen, which is the less spicy sounding brother of mustard gas, phosgen being responsible for 85% of chemical weapons related fatalities in World War I. In case explosive and chemical weapons weren't enough to freak you out, they've also dumped 2 tons of radioactive waste down there because uranium famously can't penetrate water. The situation is so unstable that as recently as 2004, the Royal Navy was estimating that sporadic explosions were happening down there 2 to 3 times a month. I could also talk to you about the brutal weather conditions and rough seas on the surface, but you're still thinking about the chemical weapons and radioactive waste, aren't you? At this point, any remotely sane person would take the L on this particular idea and stick to a crazy new invention all the kids are using called boats. But that's not really how the UK rolls, is it? For those of you at the back still paying attention, It is worth remembering that this is the country that has a proud tradition of not being able to organise building a train line to such unreachable locations like Leeds, and have turned drilling a tunnel under London into a money-eating clusterfuck that will never end. I feel like it also must be highlighted again that we managed to spend £53 million on a bridge that doesn't exist, which I think is almost as impressive an achievement as somehow tricking the world into thinking we built the Suez Canal. To be fair, the history of the UK is scattered with examples of insane ideas we followed through with anyway, so is it unreasonable to expect anything otherwise? We do, after all, have people like this, and this running our country. Ultimately, it probably won't happen, and the government will lose interest and try to invade Johnny Depp's estate in France to reclaim it as a colony for the British Empire or something. But, given the increasingly insane levels this government is operating on, it's difficult to be surprised when they suggest these kind of things. So I say fuck it, let's build it.